Mary Anderson, the underappreciated genius who made rainy drives less terrifying. Mary Elizabeth Anderson, February 19, 1866 to June 27, 1953, was an American real estate mogul, cattle rancher, vineyard owner, and, most importantly, the unsung hero who saved drivers everywhere from the existential dread of driving blind in a rainstorm. On November 10, 1903, Anderson was granted her first patent for a little something we now take for granted: the windshield wiper. Yes, that thing you only notice when it isn't working and you're suddenly playing a high-stakes game of guess where the road went. From Alabama to windshield drama. The early years. Mary Anderson was born in Burton Hill Plantation, Greene County, Alabama in 1866, right as the South was figuring out how to function after the Civil War. Her parents, John C. and Rebecca Anderson, provided a comfortable life, though tragedy struck early when her father passed away in 1870. Fortunately, his estate kept the family afloat, meaning Mary didn't have to resort to selling lemonade or inventing a time machine to fix things. By 1889, Mary, her widowed mother, and her sister Fanny, her lifelong BFF, packed up and moved to Birmingham, Alabama, the big city of the post-war South. Details about her education are murky. Did she attend school? Was she secretly homeschooled by a very disciplined cat? History may never know, but what we do know is that she never married or had kids. Instead, she channeled all her energy into becoming a real estate tycoon, because why settle for one career when you can collect them like Pokemon? Real estate, cattle ranching, and a trunk full of plot twists. Soon after arriving in Birmingham, Anderson built the Fairmont Apartments on Highland Avenue, proving she had a knack for construction before HGTV made it cool. But real estate wasn't enough. Oh no. In 1893, she decided to swap city life for the Wild West vibes of Fresno, California, where she ran a cattle ranch and vineyard. Because again, why not? By 1898, family duty called, and she returned to Birmingham to care for an ailing aunt. This aunt came bearing gifts, specifically a trunk full of gold and jewelry. Suddenly, Anderson and her family were living very comfortably. Some might call it luck. Others might call it the 19th century version of winning the lottery without having to buy a ticket. The birth of the windshield wiper, and the birth of corporate skepticism. Then came the moment that changed driving forever. In 1903, Anderson patented her window cleaning device. A hand-operated lever inside the car that controlled a rubber blade on the windshield. Genius, right? Well, not according to the car industry at the time. When she tried selling the rights to her invention in 1905, a Canadian firm, Dinning and Eckenstein, basically said, "Nah, this'll never catch on." Their reasoning? Drivers might get too distracted by the wipers. Ah yes, because nothing says distraction like being able to see the road. To make matters worse, cars weren't even mainstream yet. Henry Ford's Model A hadn't hit the streets. So, Anderson's invention was like selling a smartphone in 1820. By 1916, windshield wipers were standard on most cars, but Anderson never saw a dime from her patent, which expired in 1920. Oh, and some people even credited the invention to a man because of course they did. The struggle of being a woman inventor in a man's world. Anderson wasn't the only woman getting shafted by history. In 1917, Charlotte Bridgewood patented the first automatic wiper system, using rollers instead of blades, and she also died without making a cent. Anderson's great-great-niece, Sarah Scott Wingo, suspects that Anderson's independence worked against her. She didn't have a father. She didn't have a husband. And the world was kind of run by men back then. Asterisk shocking, right? Later life and legacy, aka the part where history finally catches up. By the 1920s, Anderson was back in Birmingham, managing the Fairmont Apartments with her sister Fanny and mother. She lived a quiet but comfortable life until her death at 87 in 1953. At the time, she was the oldest member of her church, proving that she wasn't just an inventor, she was also really good at outlasting everyone else. For decades, her contribution was largely forgotten, until 2011 when the National Inventors Hall of Fame finally gave her the recognition she deserved. Rini Pava, the Hall of Fame's executive VP, summed it up perfectly. Asterisk, she was persistent, she was forward-thinking, and she had the drive to follow up on an idea. So the next time you're driving in a downpour and your wipers are doing their thing, take a second to thank Mary Anderson, the woman who made sure you didn't have to stick your head out the window like a golden retriever just to see the road.